Bonjour everyone, it's been a long time. Let's go straight to the point. Today I'm gonna teach you how to draw. Very simply, how you can start if you are blocked and you don't know how to start to draw and you would want to draw. Well, actually it doesn't have to be very difficult. So this is for beginners, like I would say level -1. If you don't know how to draw but you're scared but you still would like to draw, then this is for you. I am Charles from Charles and Hélène, if you don't know me, and me and my wife, we are doing embroidery. So why would I teach you to draw? Well, all our embroidery design are hand drawn. And I want to show you that it's quite simple. We are drawing architectural scenes. Sometimes I do different stuff, but it doesn't matter. All our designs are quite simple. Everyone can do it. And today I want to teach you some tricks as someone that draws quite a lot, some easy tricks that can make you start to draw and to maybe do something quite nice. It's not only with difficult things that you do beautiful things. Sometimes simple is beautiful. So we will just start like this. Just take a paper. If you have different pencils, pen, rubber, whatever, I think the rubber you can get rid of this. Let's start with this, or just with this. So I will be basically a beginner like you on this point. Don't expect to do something beautiful and all. What I will teach you today is to train your hand and your brain of doing shapes and combining together. Okay, let's do it. So very simple. You can start to do squares. So I am not warm up right now, but it's the typical thing I would warm up. And you see your squares. I need to be straight because I'm recording for you. We can start to do circles. The goal of a circle is that you join the two ends together. You have triangles, and don't think it too much. Don't sweat it. Just do it. Okay? Then this square can become like this. So you see you did another shape here. Wow, it's complicated to actually, I'm usually used to draw like this, which is not great for the position. So here right now, I start to see that my vision is not so great from far. Okay, this round stays around, right? And triangle, you can do like this, you can do also like this, and you can do like that. Okay? This is just an exercise for fun, right? So don't expect, you see, this is far to be perfect. You can join things together. So for example, if we will do a big square, let's do a square, okay? Let's do a square here. You can help yourself to do like that, okay? Well, what can you do? You can also train yourself to do patterns. And patterns are just repetitive shapes. So for example, on this one, I will just do, you see, I have a triangle here. I can do another, I will just join the corners to start with, okay? Then you can make a line to go to another extremes. And you see this exercise doesn't have to be complicated. Then I can do another triangle. I did two now, okay? And here another one, and here another one, here another one, here another one. It's all about joining the lines together, right? Up, I can do a triangle here that I join here, that join here, and so on, right? So you see, you already draw some abstract things. Another triangle, another, and so on and so on. What can you train to make it special? You can learn contrast, So you will feel one, for example. 1 on 2. And what you are learning right now is to put some lines into shapes, you know. With some repetitive movement, you can basically create some interesting things that can be fun. Okay? So how can we make a circle, let's say, special? Let's make a circle here. Okay? And just follow me along. Like, it's not perfect, doesn't matter. Don't retrace a line several times to make it perfect because it proves that you are nervous. Just do one, you know? And if it's like that, it doesn't matter. Just move on, okay? So let's do a circle. But you know that you can make something very interesting with other type of circle, which is dots, you know, it's just a smaller version. So I will show you, I will just do dot, you know, one dot like this. And if you do several next to each other, let's say a distance a bit equal, you know, and you will just feel a moon of it, okay? Don't overdo it and do over dots, but do the contour. Just same distance, nothing crazy, just a line, okay? And now I will invite you to do more dots around this area, okay? But now in a more small area, okay? Closer to the border, to the down right. And more. And more. You can add a little to make it smoother. And now you can spread it like this here, but with more space. And a bit more. And a bit more. We have a round that you just did here, but with dots and combining together as patterns and repetitive movements and shapes and so on, you create volume. It's not that complicated, right? Okay. Another trick when you want to do lines, so let's say for example, a typical roof I will do here, okay? This is a roof, and you see I did just a rectangle, but I did it tilt. To give it some texture, I will typically do several lines, and this exercise is great, because you can do several lines next to each other, and you train your hand, and if the line is not finished, it's alright, you know, it gives you something. So you basically do workout with your hand because, you know, it's like everything. If you start an old car, an old diesel car that you didn't repair, then it won't start great, you know. And it's a bit the same. Let's say that you were drawing when you were a kid, but now it's been a long time and you didn't train. Like, be really open to yourself. Don't expect too much. And then you just start slowly but surely, and then the engine will go back. So with those lines, you can also do texture. So let's do lines, okay, next to each other like this. If you want to give it a bit more texture that you could use for shadows or for volume in the next time, you could do other lines like this. And what you just do right now, it's called etching. So you could do, you know, next to each other, yet, like that. And you see, by repeating the movements, you actually are doing something quite cool and interesting. And that's drawing. And you see, this took us, what? Maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. I don't know when I started. and you already do something that can be cool, and you will want to give more contrast about it, just add up. You know, could add up here. You could make it in balance. You don't have to do 1 on 2 to make it interesting. You could give it a bit, you know, space to breathe and stuff like that. Okay, cool. It could be a carpet, anything, you know. So let's say, for example, I don't know, if you think about, for example, a building or a house, you know, with a, like when you look at your kids, for example, doing a house, or any kid, it starts with a rectangle, which is the base, you know. It's really the base. And in this rectangle, you have windows, which are squares. And if you really think in a very simple way, drawing is simple. You just have to put shapes together to make it interesting. So this looks very childish, right? Maybe for you, like, it's too childish. What could you do? You could add other rectangles, you know. And then you gave it already a volume, like a 3D shapes. And, you know, you could add lines. That you follow here. You know, and another rectangle, and so on, you know. I hope this little trick is a great thing to warm up your hand. It's a great exercise to realize that we can actually draw. We can draw everything. So let's continue with the lines, because the lines can be curves, right? And you see, if you will, let's say, continue like this, you will always start from here, but you will just change a bit the direction of your lines, okay? And then you will do it shorter, okay? See, I don't explain like in detail what you should do. I'm just showing you what you can do. And then you do more, okay? Still following this movement that you did. Well, it could be many things. If you add the shape here, like that, and then like that, you have a brush, okay? But if you do, let's say we do other lines like this, in the same manner as we did just before, well, you could do another shape, let's say like this, and then the same principle I showed you here, just a bit random. Up, you have your fish, you know. Bloop. I know it looks very basic, but that's basically what you need to start to create something. So let's say for us, when we do an architecture design, so let's say you want to do a design for embroidery and you want to start to draw it, well, always when you look at the shapes, start to look at the basic shape. So I will look face to me because I have a view on different things, and I will just show you how I proceed. So face to me, there is this roof windows that basically gives you light from the top. You typically see this, for example, in cities where people have lives on the top of a building and it makes them light, you know? So I will start with that. It's a big rectangle that is tilted at first. So it's like that. And there are several rectangles. Okay, no problem. I will do several rectangles just with these two lines to connect together, okay? So right now I just used the rectangle and the lines that we did here, okay? Let me unzoom a little. Now I see that there is a bit volume, so I will just add another rectangle here, and I see that they are darkened So I'm just looking at shapes, you know, I'm just looking at shapes. And I see it's black, so I will use etching technique. And you have asphalt around it, so I can do like this, and we see the angle like that. And don't try to be perfect, you know, it's your first time. And even if it's not your first time, you don't need to be perfect. And this, there is a joining to the roof that is like this. Right? And then there is the back of the roof here. Okay? It's just lines. And there is another roof here. Starting. I see here just a line. You see, I don't even look at what I'm doing in terms of proportions. It's not the exercise here. It's just to understand the amount of lines, the shapes, and to make it simple. Okay? Next by these things, there is a roof. So I just continue like this. And the roof has a tulle, I think we call this in English. So I can see that it has different rounding shape. And an easy way to do it for me to see, like I will sketch right now, is to do lines. Okay, I do 1, 2, next to each other. Okay? Okay, let's see like this. And I see that there is rounds. So simply, I will add half round shapes that we did here, but just half next to each other. Okay. And once it's done, I go down and do the same. Okay. So you understand basically what's my roof about. And I can see that these tulles have different shades and different colors. So simply, I will just make one dark here. And you see I did lines next to each other to give it a bit less contrast. I could make lines a bit more spaced to each other. And you see, it's a different shade. And I could do completely full here. Like this, it's filled completely. And by doing so, here, 1, 2. You see? And you have your roof that is starting. That's it for this video. I want you to train like that. Let me show you one thing. This is one of our most famous design in embroidery called Les Volcans. It's a bistro in Paris, a restaurant, and it's one of our bestseller course actually in our Charles and Ellen Academy. We have an academy. If you look at it on this design, we teach you basically to do the embroidery with the design. What it is. So let's take the pen like this. You have a big rectangle here. It's Ellen who drew it, and actually she simplified very easily. So yeah, the line looks good and everything. Here was just a sketch, but if you take more time and make sure that your lines are good, like you can basically achieve this. You have a big rectangle. In this big rectangle, you have another rectangle here, and inside it recovers with other rectangles and another rectangle, okay? You have rectangles that makes the windows, and then some lines here. You see, it's just adding up small element that makes the overall of your design. Same as here. It's a simple rectangle here with lines in the same distance to each other. And if you just here make a little distance to each other, it creates, you know, depth. Like it's nice. Same here, just a triangle, rectangle, then you have the etching. Very simple. This is just round. You could do exactly the same with some color pencils. Let's see if you can see better here. Yeah. Color pencils, you would just do dots and it represents flowers, right? Small lines here for the shoulders, next to each other, just aligned. You see, with very small things such as a line, a square, rectangle, circle, you know, anything like of these basic shapes creates something. It's like in fitness, for example, if you start to do sports, well, what most of the training coach will tell you is like master the basics, master the pump, master the squats, the abs, in order to do more advanced exercise, such as, I don't know, the burpees, the pull-ups, and so on. You understand? So that's the whole thing about this exercise. It's extremely basic, but master it. And you see, now I realize that looking a bit far from the paper, as I'm not used to it, and filming at the same time, I'm not perfect, but it's all right, you know. I mean, I know what I can do, you know, when I'm with the paper. But just train yourself, right? So yeah, it doesn't look perfect. And you see, like when you add cross, it could make different windows. The possibilities are endless. Another example here. We start with a simple rectangle. We just do a round shape here, and then it's rectangles on rectangles, and the bricks are rectangles for the stairs. It's very simple. A line for the trunk, and then you just do lines for the leaves, right? You see here? But you put it together. 1, 2, 3. And when you repeat this process, it's all about repetition and patterns. You are actually making bushes, leaves, whatever, right? If you want to do it very quick, you could do 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you repeat onto each other. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. You know, and then you, have a tree, right? Small round here. You see, everything is so basic. And that's the whole thing about what we are trying to share, is that no matter what you want to start, it doesn't have to be hard. And embroidery, like we encounter many people who sometimes give themselves limits. Oh, I don't know how to draw, then I can't create my own design. Yes, you can. And if you don't know how to start, we can actually give you this knowledge. For example, on YouTube or in our academy, we have a membership where you can access all our course. With this membership, basically, you can access to live stream that we give you. So sometimes it's about different subjects, and you can see that the whole basics of our knowledge in art remains the same, but we can do so many different things with this. And if, like, a lot of things comes, as I was saying, with the limits, many times we are seeing and reading that people have no time. And we want to prove you that embroidery can actually be done when you don't have time. So just as much, this took us no time to do this exercise. And if you do it 5 minutes, 10 minutes a day, you will get better. And you will understand that with basic shapes, you can create different things, which is great, right? Well, Eileen is starting something new in this month of June, which is called 10-minute magics. You will create an embroidery in a month with just 10 minutes a day of embroidery. And we want to prove you that it's possible. And it's by creating a small habit, such as this one, doing this 10 minutes a day. Like, for example, for my sake right now, I'm trying to do sports every day, and I'm doing actually just 10 minutes, and in the end of the session, I'm already dead, and it's only 10 minutes. In my mind, I thought that I needed to do a workout of 1 hour to actually sweat, which is not accurate at all. It's the same with embroidery. You don't need to have an hour, 4 hours in front of you to finish an embroidery or to make your own design. You actually need 10 minutes a day. We invite you on Charles in Academy. You can see the introduction. I will give you the link in description where you can basically have an explanation of how the process will be. Eileen explained you everything. It's not me the teacher on this one. It's Eileen. She speaks very good English. She is a great teacher. She is my teacher of embroidery, for example. I recommend her. And yeah, I give this example for everyone in the public, but you can see so many other exercises in our academy, in drawing too, because we have a course for how to create your own design of embroidery, and we have different exercises and courses on embroidery. For example, here you see that we are mixing watercolor with embroidery. We can do thread painting with our, like, basically instead of using the painting, we are using threads to be the color. There are so many possibilities. It's endless, it's also addictive, and it creates something special into your life, you know? Like embroidery for me, or drawing, or all kind of creativity replace the time for me in front of my phone, and also give space to my head, you know, to think and to be able to relax. And this is really what we want to spread and to share. Also, it can be something very social. You can do this together. For example, this 10-minute challenge per day that we will give you in June is something that you could do with friends over a Skype talk or FaceTime or Zoom. I mean, there are so many now. Over a coffee, everything you would like, you could do it. You could do it in front of a TV and talking in the same time. It's possible. We have a toddler right now, and we still are doing art. We are trying. It's difficult, but we have only maybe sometimes 10 minutes a day. And that's how the idea of this challenge came. I just let you now, continuing to do this practice if you want. Feel free to look at the 10-minute magic on our academy. It's completely free to see the introduction. I just give you the challenge to have a look to start with, and then you see if you are ready to change and make a new habit. I wish you a creative journey, and see you soon on the next video.